Hey everybody, Jennifer here, and welcome to Bunches of Lunches Subscriber Edition. In today's video, I have 5 fun and colorful lunch ideas to share with you, and all of these lunch ideas were sent in to me by some of my awesome subscribers. If you have a lunch idea you'd like to send in, first make sure you're subscribed, then just use the link in the description box below to send in your idea. If your idea is chosen, I'll make it in a future video and give you a big old shout out. Okay guys, first up I have a lunch idea sent in by Kajini. She is 15 years old and is from Haiti. Now Kajini asked for a blue and gold themed lunch today, and for her main course I'm going to start with a mini bagel. This is just a nice and chewy plain bagel. I'm going to go ahead and open it up and then pop it in the toaster for a few minutes. Now on top of Kajini's bagel, she asked for something that is a pretty unique combination. She asked for both peanut butter and jam, but this is actually going to be pineapple jam. I'm going to put these on the lunch plate, and then to make them even more pineapple-y, I'm going to add just a few pineapple tidbits all the way around the top in sort of a flower pattern. So now it's time to move on to the fruit for this lunch, and Kajini requested a combination of strawberries and pineapples, and I am going to go ahead and cut the strawberries into heart shapes since it is a Valentine's week. For my next step, I'm going to take some celery sticks. I'm going to cut them down until they're almost bite-sized and then fill them with peanut butter. So these are going to be just like ants on a log, but instead of using raisins, I'm going to be using craisins. For her snack, she requested Chex Mix. And for her treat, I'm going to be adding in something extra special. I'm going to take some store-bought mini muffins, and these are actually blueberry flavored to go along with this blue and gold lunch. And to turn this muffin into a cupcake, I'm going to go ahead and add just a little bit of frosting right to the top of each one. Next up, I'm going to be making Erica's lunch. Erica is 13 years old and she's from Ohio. And for her lunch, she's given me a shape challenge. And if you've never seen a shape challenge, it's basically where everything in the lunch needs to be a certain shape. And as you can tell, the shape for this lunch is going to be star. For Erica's main course, she requested a grilled cheese sandwich with a peekaboo star window. So for this, I'm just using some really good farmhouse bread, but I do want to go ahead and trim off the crust just a little bit so I have a nice rectangle shape. Then instead of adding 1 peekaboo window, I'm actually going to be adding in 3. And for this grilled cheese sandwich, I decided to go with the classic Kraft cheese. I know this cheese is not everybody's favorite, but it definitely is popular when it comes to making a grilled cheese. But you guys, I would love to know in the comments down below, what kind of cheese do you put in your grilled cheese? Usually if I'm making it for myself, I'll actually use a couple of different kinds of cheese. Then, because there's a peekaboo window in the sandwich, I don't really want to flip it in a pan, so instead I'm going to grill this in my panini press. Check it out, you guys. The cheese is definitely melted, but it pretty much stayed in the sandwich. So now on to the rest of the star-themed lunch. For Erica's fruit, she requested watermelon. For her veggies, she requested a combination of both carrot and cucumber. And because I am extra, I am going to go ahead and slice these, punch out a star in the middle, and then swap the carrot with a cucumber. Now these are really easy to make, but I do have to say that they do take a little bit of extra time. Now, moving on to Erica's sweet treat, she requested any kind of chocolate cookie. So I thought it'd be really fun to use these Star Crunch cookies because they go with the star theme. Now, this is actually a Little Debbie snack, and if you've never had one before, it's basically a soft chocolate cookie topped with caramel and crispy rice. And because this is a star-shaped food challenge, I am gonna go ahead and cut this into a star shape and then get it into the lunch tray. Okay guys, next up I have another international lunch idea to share with you. This idea was sent to me by Meta. She is 40 years old and is from Denmark. And you guys, for her lunch today, she requested a Denmark-themed lunch. Now, for her main course, she gave me lots of good details here. She says that in Denmark, children bring open-faced sandwiches to school. So I'm gonna try my best to make a really fancy-looking open-faced sandwich for this lunch. For Meta's sandwich, she requested that I use rye bread, which is not something I typically buy very often, so I'm excited to give it a try. So Meta told me that typically instead of using mayo, you would go ahead and add butter to the bread instead. And then you can go ahead and put thin slices of things like cheese, cold cuts, you could use liver paste, and then additionally you could also add things like cucumbers or tomatoes. But today I decided to use some roast beef, some cheese, and I did go ahead and pick up some Havarti cheese. Then I also added some thinly sliced cucumber and a few pieces of tomato. Now, to be honest with you, I think I overdid it on the toppings for this sandwich. I probably should have added a little bit less, but I do think it looks pretty cool and I know my son Jackson will love it. So now moving on to Meta's fruit, she suggested apples because she said that Denmark is famous for their apples and they have many apple orchards. Today I'm just cutting up a Honey Crisp apple. Those are one of my favorites. And then for her veggie, she requested cucumbers. I'm also going to crinkle cut those and then get them onto the lunch tray. For Meta's snack, I'm going to be adding in some nuts. These are just some really good mixed nuts. I'll add just a few right over here. And then for her treat, Meta said it should be Danish licorice because it's very popular there, but I couldn't find any of that here. So instead, I'm gonna go ahead and add some of these Danish butter cookies. Now you guys, if you've ever had these before, you'll know they are so good. They are sweet and crispy and buttery, several different shapes of cookie. Everyone in my house has their own favorite. Personally, I really like the swirly cookies, but my kids prefer the pretzel-shaped ones. Okay guys, now that brings me to a lunch idea sent in by Sarah. Sarah is 21 years old and she is from Florida. And speaking of Florida, for her theme today, she requested a University of Florida theme. So that means gators. And of course, the gator colors are blue and orange. I'm going to be trying to use a lot of those colors in today's lunch. So for Sarah's main course, she requested her college favorite, which happens to be a peanut butter and banana sandwich. Now I'm going to be using this really nice farmhouse bread, but it doesn't exactly fit in this lunchbox. So I'm going to go ahead and trim that. That way they're going to fit a lot better. Now I am going to go ahead and add peanut butter to both sides of the bread. That way the banana won't get the bread all soggy because that layer of peanut butter kind of protects the bread. And then of course right in the center I'm just going to be adding in some banana slices and then I can close up this sandwich. but I'm not quite done yet. To make this sandwich have more of a gator theme, I asked my husband if he could print out a little Florida Gator sandwich stamp. And you guys, anytime I'm using a sandwich stamp or a sandwich cutter and I want to have more detail show up on the bread, I just color in the stamp or the cutter with some food writer pens. Okay guys, so now that the main course is done, we're going to move on to the fruit and veggie. To represent the blue color, I'm adding in some blueberries. And to represent orange, I'm adding in some carrots. Over in the back, I'm going to be adding in some potato chips. These are the curly kind. I get these from Trader Joe's. And then for Sarah's snack, she requested the tropical flavor gushers because she says that those are the best. And you guys, if you've never had gushers before, it's basically like a fruit snack on the outside, and then in the center there's kind of like a fruit flavored liquid. And can somebody tell me why these little fruit snacks are so dang hard to open? And as you can see, I'm just adding in the blue ones and the orange ones to go with our Florida Gator theme. And now last but not least, for Sarah's drink, she requested some good old Gatorade. And here's a fun fact, you guys. Did you know that Gatorade was actually invented at the University of Florida for their football players? Next up, I have a lunch idea sent in by Jaden. He is 13 years old and from Atlanta, Georgia. And for Jaden's lunch today, he requested an all orange theme and he requested lots and lots of Cheetos. Everything Cheetos. He absolutely loves Cheetos. So of course, for the main course, I'm gonna start by making the Cheeto flavored mac and cheese. And you guys, this is just the regular one, not the spicy one, not the super spicy one. And Jaden let me know that he is a fan of a little bit of spice, but not too much. And speaking of spice, Jaden requested a very special topping for his mac and cheese. He asked if I could take some flaming hot Cheetos and go ahead and crush them up. And you guys, this is actually really fun. In fact, all of my kids want to get in on the action. So now that our flaming hot Cheetos are crushed up, I'm going to add just a tiny bit on top of the mac and cheese. This is going to add just a little bit of spice and a little bit of crunch. You guys will have to let me know in the comments down below if you've ever tried hot Cheetos on top of your mac and cheese. Now moving on to the rest of this orange themed lunch. For Jaden's fruit, he requested mandarin oranges, but not the fresh kind. He specifically asked for the mandarin oranges in a can, so that's what I'm going with today. I just drained these, got them into a little silicone cup, and I'm also going to add this cute little mandarin orange pick right inside. For Jaden's vegetable, he requested carrots. And for his snack, he requested not regular Cheetos, but Cheeto flavored popcorn. So I'm just gonna add a tiny bit right in here. And then you guys, for Jaden's special treat, he requested some orange Hostess cupcakes. Now I've never actually tried these. I guess they're supposed to be orange flavored, but if you ask me, they look more yellow than they look orange, but that's okay. Now, last but not least, Jaden didn't actually request a drink at all, but I decided to go ahead and add this orange mango Good to Grow bottle since it has orange in it, and this one has Captain America on the top. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope that these lunches give you lots of fun ideas that you can use when you're making lunch this week. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.